Pat, talk to me about the team that you have returning. You lose a few from last year. Everybody goes through those cycles. Doug Corby, for example, really impressed at East-West Bowl. Tell me about what you got returning on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, it's good to see Doug Corby step up the way he has because our graduate from Mount Douglas, Alex Carroll, had a terrific year last year, and he's just signed with Saskatchewan. He finished his career on the top of his game. So we're going to need another game breaker like that. Corby looks like he's primed to move into that role. We've had a very good recruiting class, some great skill kids. What we did accomplish in this year's recruiting class was we managed to rebuild our receiving core, and we've had a pretty significant group, in succession over the past decade or so. So to get some more good talent in there, we got a fine young quarterback by the name of Nate Hobbs. Team Ontario, Team Canada guy, defeated the U.S. in San Antonio 2 years ago. He's a very capable player and a good leader. The offensive line is coming of age, and our defense was very young. We had a couple of great Team BC kids there. Jason Shamatutu and Jake Furlett had outstanding freshman years for us, and we're looking forward to see them blossom and see the defense grow with it.
We're always accustomed to seeing some solid running backs at Queens. How's your depth at running back?
Well, we have an outstanding kid by the name of Jesse Andrews who will be back for his senior year. He's poised to be one of the premier runners in the OUA. I expect a big year from him. He missed a couple of games due to injury, which prevented him from rushing for 1,000 yards last year. If he can keep it together, keep the body in shape, for the duration of the season, I think we have potentially another 1,000-yard rusher at Queens. The offensive line is really pumped to get out there and perform for him. And then we have a good group of young guys that are coming up, scratching and clawing to get a seat on the bus. So we're pretty good at running back moving forward.
How much easier is it to put last year in the rearview mirror, considering that this is the last year coming up at Richardson Stadium and you can really focus on that as kind of an event throughout the season?
Yeah, it's historically it's a point of departure, there's no question. And last year was probably what it should have been. We graduated 21 starters from our 2013 team and lost 10 more upperclassmen. It was the most significant movement in personnel that I've ever faced in my career, and we survived. We were not a contender team last year, but we have lots of promise for the future, and I think it's perhaps ironic that this is sort of out with the old and in with the new. This is the precipice of change at Queens. There's going to be a dramatic, improvement in facilities, and we're going to go forward with enthusiasm.
Tell us about the new Richardson Stadium. How much enthusiasm is there surrounding this new facility? You've obviously had the opportunity to take a look at the blueprints of the facility and how it's coming along. How much are you excited as a coach? Because I visited you at Richardson last September, and I thought, it's about time for an upgrade here in the old office.
Yeah, we could use a few cans of paint there. The new plans for the stadium are very exciting. It's going to be sort of a miniature model of some of the major stadiums in the U.S. We're going to only seat 12,000, but it's going to be a bowl configuration, and it's going to be a tremendous uplift to Queen's University, to the local Kingston community, and in the region. It's got potential to be a real center of excellence for football and several other field sports as well. So it's going to be a dramatic change in direction for the program. If you want to know what's important in any institution, it's where they put their money. And I think Queens is moving forward dramatically, saying that varsity sports is important on the Kingston campus, and we're all excited about it.
Lots of news surrounding the OUA and the CIS in the off-season. What do you think are the three major issues right now facing CIS football that you'd like to see tackled?
Yeah, I would say that, first of all, have a level playing field. I think, there are some significant differences in the way the four conferences do business. We're only 27 schools that play football. We should be able to get everybody aligned, to execute their affairs in similar fashion. I think when you do that, you have an opportunity to tackle issue number two, which is a more equitable distribution of talent throughout the country. I think we're going to need more meaningful games. I think that as every institution takes the field at training camp, they should have at least some dream that they can, fulfill their want as to be national champions. So I think if we take care of 1 and 2, we'll actually get number 3, which is, some great competitive games. So that people in a number of, viewing communities will have an opportunity to see great football, entertaining football. I think we can eliminate some of the staleness by, knowing that, when you line up against any team in the country, it's going to be an entertaining game. You're going to be playing against like-minded institutions that have the same kinds of kids out there. I think it'd be great for football fans and great for college football.
How long do you think these things will take to come around? I mean, it's a tough road to get from A to B in terms of that level of competition that you're talking about.
Well, they couldn't sign the Meech Lake Accord. I mean, so we're a fairly territorially based nation. So, unfortunately, in our country, I think with the distance and the perspective that evolves from that, we have many different views for how things should go. So, hopefully, it's a challenge for leadership, to do what's best for the sport, to do what's best for the kids, do what's best for, developing the leaders of tomorrow. So, I'm optimistic, but I realize we have our challenges.
Pat, thanks very much for this.
Pleasure to be here.